Sounds good.
So, and the other thing is it's a herd mentality. If anything bad happens, everybody's going that way. I'm going that way.
Crack me up. Excellent choice. Okay. Place to set our stuff.
What's that?
But there's no place to set our stuff. Let's go underground. Perfect. So I think this is only a 30-minute class.
That's, I'm here as long as the class is.
I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, they schedule it 2 hours, you know, we kind of get a head start on the others.
There you go.
It's just the two of us, you don't have to stay for 2 hours.
Oh, we'll cover everything. I want to make sure we have value. It doesn't matter to me how many people are here. No. I'm not, but I have to tell you, I'm not one of those people that, let me just read from each page because please read it at home.
I'm gonna say, if you're gonna do that, then I might as well stay home and just read the book.
100%. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. That's why I'm like, oh, there's slides. Ooh.
I'm more of a guy.
Huh?
To see him more as a guy.
Yes, exactly. No, I'm just letting you know that I don't do that. And we're going to go off script a lot because this is actually, I wanted to teach this one because this is one I truly believe in. But we're going to approach it a little bit backwards. But you have so much business experience, it's not going to be there. You know what I mean?
I always look for the new thing.
Okay. Let's see.
You know, my glasses. So has your summer been busy?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Of course, I could ask it this way. Has it been busy and have the results been
Have they been what?
bankable?
Bankable?
You have been able to actually take those activities and turn them into checks.
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking. You're so funny. I know I had it like I met someone, like I'm not gonna lie, talking about money is my biggest pet peeve. Like you don't go to your dentist, go, hey, did you make a lot of money today? Like real estate's the only thing that people bring up money.
Yep.
I don't go to my lawyer and be like, hey, did you buy a new boat?
Mhm.
Nobody does that. So like I had a passive buyer. It's like, oh, because are you busy? Yes, we work hard. So yes, we're busy. And he's like, oh, that must be nice. Must make a lot of money. Like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, it is kind of weird when you hear that from strangers. I ask other real estate agents because a lot of times people confuse activity with accomplishment.
Yes.
And that's the only reason why I ask.
Yes.
You will be like, I'm so busy. And it's like, how are you making money? Did you do business, basically?
Right. Well, they could be busy making flyers.
Yeah. So
That's a 10-hour job, $10 hour job. So,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. If you're spending more than an hour, you probably should be.
Exactly.
There's a lot of agents are always, I've got so much problems with my time management. I can't get everything done. I'm like, well, what are you doing? And of those things that you're doing, which are the ones that actually get you paid.
Right. Right.
The other ones you probably can put aside for that.
Exactly.
There's no money there.
Exactly. Oopsies, I'm pushing buttons. I probably shouldn't do that.
How better you do it now than when everybody's here. Or can I say everybody?
Okay. So that must be a camera thing.
That is a camera.
It's the worst angle ever.
No. You're welcome to change it. I had nothing to do with any of it.
Darn it.
So,
Sarah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Okay. Did you know this is interactive, right?
Sorry, what was that?
It's interactive.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Okay. I just want to make sure because I am one of those people that ask people to participate.
perfect. Thank you.
You never ask a question you don't already know the answer.
What?
You never ask a question you don't already know the answer to.
Why? Why would I ask a question that I know the answer to?
So that's the first rule of trial.
That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well,
But why would I want to learn something new?
it works for lawyer.
Oh, right. I don't ask questions I know the answers to. Are you staying? And then you need to work on your values. I know. Do, do, do. Okay. What time is it? It's 9:01. Is your dude coming out
Well, he usually is late.
from right there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna get started, okay? All right. Oh, is more people coming? Oh, yay. All right, Lionel Wilson.
He's on it.
Hmm?
He's on it.
Oh, you can see him. Cool. I don't like this. I'm like, there's a lot happening back here.
Yeah, I understand. See, that's why I like to be behind.
There. That's what you get.
There you go.
It's perfect. Okay. Well, we're gonna get started. Okay. So as we mentioned, this is fully participation, and as people come, I'll just let them in. So I just have to stand here for a second. Okay. Thank you for coming. Truly appreciate your time.
Happy to be.
Okay, perfect. The one person. And first, well, that's all that matters, right? Okay, so today we're going to discuss value proposition. Oh, yay. Let's see. Okay. We have some like people coming on. Perfect. Okay. Today we're discussing value proposition. We're going to do it from a little bit of a different model than you see in your book, because this is actually one of the biggest topics that we have for business, right? So one of the things that we have a poster that Keller Williams talks about is your mission, vision, values, beliefs. And there's one more. I totally just spaced them. I don't have to tell me if you heard. Oh,
Perspective.
thank you. In the perspective. So today we're going to be connecting about our values. And this is one of the things that, one, this is how we present ourselves in the world as we're getting business. And then two, when we discover our values and are able to share it with the world and with our friends, family, other clients, right? Then you can have those people that connect with you too, which makes it such a better experience, right? So that's one of the main reasons we also talk about values is, hey, am I having the business that I want? Because I'm living my values also. I'm conducting myself in a way that shows my values. I'm connected with people who share the same values. It's just what we like to call win-win, because values all around, right? Everyone gets values. Exactly. Okay. So what we're going to talk about first is how's everyone's success going so far, right? Through up to this session 4 of Ignite. We'll start with the person in the room. Can everyone hear? Can you guys hear?
I'm happy with my success.
Okay. Let's elaborate on that so we all have something to talk about.
I feel like it's actually really been helping me get my focus kind of more drilled down.
Cool.
Because right now I'm kind of with just starting, you kind of got that shiny object syndrome. Where
Yeah.
You start seeing, oh yeah, I should be doing that. Oh yeah, I should be doing that too. And, but you haven't really established anything that you were doing before. So now you've got a bunch of, like 10 half-finished projects.
Right.
So
So-
I could have 5 done and be starting on the next.
Right. So today's class is perfect for you then, because once you have your values, then you can say yes or no to things.
Exactly.
And all the shiny objects don't matter, because does it align with where you're trying to go and what you need, right?
That's correct.
Awesome.
That's what I'm actually working on this week.
Oh, I love
My
it.
business.
I love it. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
it.
Me too.
Awesome. Sarah, what about you? Talk about your week.
So I actually participated in Ignite last year, and it's always a pleasure. I am actually in a mentorship program with Lionel, and I love this program because it helps me feel a little more confident in my abilities, and it's kind of brushing up on some skills. I've done real estate for about 4 years, but it helps learn new things, especially with the resale side, and just feeling more confident in some of my strategies, such as like last time we talked about knowing the market with Mia. CMAs and certain things I'm still a little shaky on, so these kind of help brush up on my skills.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. Thank you. And then it looks like we have Stacy. Oh, thanks. There we go.
Hey, so I am just loving focusing on where my weaknesses are and also my strengths, so I can improve on those and just dial in like exactly where I need to be.
Cool. And so Stacy, do you have those written down?
I do.
Okay, well, there is a participation part of this when you want to share, whatever you want to share. It's not the whole thing, just whatever you feel comfortable with as we go through, okay? This is crazy. Zoom. Okay, Lionel, how about you? How was your week?
Well, my week has been great. Yeah, so I pop in. I'm not on all this the entire time, but I'm popping in. And I love Ignite because it is the foundation, and it doesn't matter whether somebody is a brand new agent just learning, or if they're a seasoned agent, kind of as Stacy said, you're always going to pick up new things and different speakers, different ideas that come out. So excited to hear yours today.
We'll see how it goes. Well, I am going to call on you because you are a valued member and we want to hear from you too. So regardless of you popping in and out, just so you know. All right, cool. So today what we're going to cover is defining the meaning of a value proposition. Yay! Explaining the benefits and creating a personalized value proposition, and then describing what buyers and sellers value the most in real estate experience. So I think that's going to be interesting, especially for people who've sold in different areas. I can't wait to hear how that goes. Hold on, we have people. We have peeps. Bam. All right. So that's part of what we're going to be defining today. So we're going to keep flipping. Okay. Let's see. So your value proposition.
Or if he got into it, like, why would they? He could have just said, no, I'm not going to get into it. So that made me think, oh, he's going to get.
Hey, Barbie, you're not on mute. Okay. I didn't know if it was a personal conversation. Okay. So part of what we're going to be doing, I hope everyone has a piece of paper, and you have paper. Yes, you always have paper. That's perfect. Okay. We're going to be defining what our values are, right? What our values are, that and how we want to conduct our business, and then how we present ourselves to the world. What we're talking about right now is what's unique about what we can provide to the marketplace. So if you'd all agree that when someone, like everyone's looking at Zillow, I don't care what happens, this is where they're going. I just had a listing yesterday and their resource is Zillow. So we all know, just in case you haven't heard, we never bash Zillow because that's their resource, and we don't want to make it seem like we're poo-pooing their resource, because we're not. We need to see what they're seeing. So, oh, here we go. Sorry, everyone. I don't know where Corinne's at. Okay. Okay. So we just need to make sure we're using all the resources that they have, such as Redfin. Hi. No, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. Are you going to sit in the back also?
He does. He's just in the back.
Okay. Okay. No, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Sorry, everyone. We're going to back us off a second. Can you introduce yourself?
So I'm Billy Scott with Morgan Farm Home Brokers.
Nice.
New agent.
Nice. Like newly licensed or new to that?
New everything.
Okay. Perfect.
I think I've been doing it for three and a half months.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And then what industry did you come from previously?
Construction, 18 years with Knife River.
Okay.
He's organized.
Okay, my boss, come down. Okay, that sounds good. Well, today we're talking about our values. And when you are on a team within our Keller Williams family team, sometimes those things are set, but even when you agree, you have your own business, right? It's still up to you to be an agent, do all the agent activities, provide the values that you provide as who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. So do you have any values written down so far? Because that's our focus today. Not that you need to specifically, we're working on it today.
I'm sure we can get something together.
That's what we're doing.
Cool.
We're gonna walk out of here with values. It's gonna be exciting.
On the right track.
Yes,
Good.
we're in the right class. Okay. So part of what we need to do, as I was explaining, is how would someone pick you if what they're looking at is on Zillow or Redfin or whatever, right? So we all have our bios. The reason why we also want to work on our values is all people see right now, just like our testimonials and reviews, is what does your bio say, right? Make sure that on LinkedIn, on whatever social media you're at, anything that you have, you're out there in the world, make sure it aligns with your elevator speech. Sorry to be crass about it, about who you are. So because they're making snap decisions about you as a person based on what it says online, right? So part of that is, yes, you can be, I'm full of integrity. You can use all the keywords, right? What does integrity mean? I don't know. So clearly I know what integrity means, but the words that are just flashy, like I'm honest, responsive, integrity, right? How can we expand on that so someone can connect with you quickly? And if you can define that, or it's just not a cliche word, then that allows someone when they meet you to be able to decide. I'm gonna go off script for half a second, everyone. Sorry. I was at a training. This freaked me out. Okay. So I mean, just taking this whole thing to another level. The speaker said, if someone meets you and like hears about you briefly or looks at you even, right? Is it easy for them to tell what your values are?
I'd like to think so.
Right? So when you're in it with a group of people, what choices do you make? How do you speak? What do you say? How do you interact with people? Do you talk about people? Do you talk poorly about people? Are you complaining the whole time? Right? So when you're around other people, is it easy for others to tell what your values are? That one I was like, oh, it does make me think. When I'm having lunch, am I having a beer at lunch? Right? Am I having water with lemon? Am I having a salad? Am I having cheese? Like whatever, right? Because it should align with your values. There's no judgment if that's your value. If you like to have beer with lunch, go have beer with lunch. Who cares? But it shouldn't be out of congruency with your values. If you feel guilty for having that beer at lunch, stop having beer at lunch because you're not in congruency with your value, right? So that one just kind of surprised me a little bit to think like, hey, when someone meets you, can they tell what your values are? The other part of what we're going to be working on, bringing in the value proposition part for our businesses, is once you decide what your values are, do your habits support your values? Do you value health? Do you value your family? Do you value spirituality? Whatever, financial, whatever, right? Then once you discover, so you have your values, then you have your habits that support your values. Are those habits scheduled? So if someone looked at your habits and your schedule, one, they could probably tell where you'll be in 3 years, if not shorter. If you're always golfing, which I do like to do, then is that going to get my business forward? Maybe yes, maybe no, right? So do your habits support your values, and does your schedule support your habits? To say where you're going to be in the next 1, 3, 5, 10 years, right? So a lot of you missed part of what we want to do is take this whole concept of value proposition, because Keller Williams believes so much in, God, family, business. Are you having the family and business you want? And if you don't even think about your values and where you want to go with your business, like, are you excited to wake up and come to work every day? Like, do you get out of bed going like, yeah, I'm so excited with what I do. How could we not be? We're in real estate. We're helping people with the biggest decision of their life, whether it's out of tragedy, sadness, happiness, moving, like whatever, right? We get to be there for them in that part. Does that get you out of bed? Is that super exciting? And because you're living your values, it's easier to jump in the day and be like, wow, this is really cool because one of my values is contributing to people. Is connecting with people. I get to do that every day. Those are my values, right? And then fine. Well, I can tell you my values, but I won't. We will later. But if you don't even define those, you're living Groundhog Day and wondering why you feel lost or feel a little out of place. Because there's nothing to go after. It's like getting in your car being like, I want to go get something to eat. Okay, where are you going? Right? And then you have to put it in your GPS, which gives you directions. But you have to start with, where do you want to go? And that's why they also talk about the mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. Woohoo, I remembered. Okay. So that's what we're going to be working on today. As far as the value, just so you know, for those of you who have not met me teaching, I bring a lot of life into it, like life stories, not just reading from the script. But I will always bring it back. And just so you know, we're not going to make it to the last 10 pages. Okay. Just as long as everyone's okay with that. Oh, see, and then Corinne told me I'm supposed to switch slides. Hold on, everyone, sorry. Oh, yay, okay. We're real estate experts, perfect. Okay. And that's that slide. Okay, so we're going to define our value proposition, what matters to buyers and sellers. Define it, recap, and then we're going to talk about our daily success system. So for everyone who likes to follow around on slides, we are now caught up. Perfect. Okay, so one is our value proposition. Again, we're going to bring it back to our unique and memorable. How are people going to choose us, right? Like, what's one thing why someone would choose you right away?
I bring good energy to the table. I'm confident in what I talk about.
Nice. That's awesome. So when you're speaking to people, that comes across, right? And then, so how would someone, just from a value sake, how would you say that so someone can choose you? What value would that be?
I think honesty stands high on the list.
Mhm.
I think I, kind of live what I breathe and wear it on my sleeve. You know what you get.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. So don't forget to write some of this stuff down because we're going to put it all together. Okay, perfect. We're going to address specific and special needs of the buyers and sellers, right? Because also we want to be able to speak directly to who we're trying to help. It doesn't matter what background we came from. If we're talking to a buyer, we're not going to be talking about weird stuff. We need to help them so they can choose us and know that we're on their side. And then also our values will show what we will be doing for our clients. And then also, once we have our values and our value proposition, it holds us to a high standard. Are we living the values and what we say we're going to do? Now, we're all perfect. We're all perfect. Okay. Well, we're not all perfect, of course. So, of course, we make mistakes, but do we at least have a guiding light in which we're moving from? Okay. Bam. And then if anyone online, please just jump off mute if I'm not specifically calling on you, and we can just keep going from there. Oh, see, I am behind slides. Thanks for bearing with me. Slides. Okay. Okay. So, and again, Gary says top agents can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. And that's what we're going to walk away with today. Okay. Cool. Well, we only have 2 people. How do you guys do it online?
What?
Well, we're going to have some exercises, but you guys are all not together in the room.
We have no doing exercise,
What? Cheer, cheer, pumpkin
at
eaters.
least to my knowledge.
Okay.
Would
Well,
you say that's an accurate statement?
100%.
Okay, fine. Okay.
That doesn't mean you can.
I don't know how they're gonna do it online because they're supposed to talk to each other.
That is where the whole Zoom thing makes it happen.
Okay. All right. So we talked about, okay, what helps our clients understand the value and the expertise. This was an interesting one to me. So our value proposition helps protect our commission, right? So why, and then we got asked this too, like, why would I pay you 5-6% for listing when they're willing to do it for 2%?
Because I'm worth it.
How? That's,
Everybody can say that.
yeah.
Well,
How would I know that?
well, let me ask you a question. You're asking me to give up some of what would in fact be my income, profit, however you'd like to state it from this transaction. Now, why would you want to hire somebody who would just quickly and easily say, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to give up some of my own money. And then you would be expecting them to fight to get you all the money you want.
There you go. It's a valid point. Right? What do you think?
I'd want to peel the onion on that 2%. What 2% gets you? What value is that 2% bringing? What things are they doing? And ask those open-ended questions to see and dissect what are they getting for that 2%? What are they getting for that reduced rate? Are they getting reduced quality and reduced performance at the same time? And be able to show that the difference in value that you would bring to the table opposed to that.
So on your team, do you have it where this is what we give you and why it's not 2%? Do you have that outlined?
When you're saying 2%, you're just saying one side of the transaction.
No, like 1 and 1. I mean, like, forget the commission, it could have been 3%, like, I was making up numbers, sorry.
Right.
So part of what we want to be able to do is when someone says, hey, they're willing to do it for less than you, right? Can you say why you're worth what you're worth? Because I said, like, oh, look, see, it protects your commission. So your value proposition protects your commission because it shows why they're paying you what they're paying you.
Yeah.
So on your team, do you, and answer yes or no, but do you have where this is everything we provide you and why we charge what we charge?
I mean, realistically, when you present it originally, a lot of times it's a short and condensed version face to face.
Yeah.
To give you that opportunity to sit at the table and present it more open book.
Yeah.
So I think you have to have it condensed
100%. I agree.
quick on your feet value proposition to justify whether it's your marketing, whether it's the team approach, whether it's the support approach.
Yeah.
You have to be able to spin it with confidence.
Yeah. 100%. I love that. Thank you. Cool. Yes.
So for purposes of clarification, I did jump to my clothes. But obviously, the first thing you want to find out is what's important to them about you cutting your commission.
Right.
Why do they want you to do that? What is it because they don't perceive, as we're talking about today, you're worth it or you have
Right.
that value? Or is it because they have a specific number they need to get?
Right. And that's a really good point too. A lot of our conversations are starting to go that way. Well, I need this much out of my house.
Yeah.
Okay. And then obviously our value propositions, because we're already lining up with people who have values like us, helps build trust and strong relationships. Because remember, no matter what you are told, you are in the relationship business. No matter how you do business, whether you cold call, door knock, whatever, you're in the relationship business, no matter what you do. Okay. Bam.
I had
Okay.
something to add if possible.
Yes,
on
thank
that.
you, Sarah.
I didn't want to be
Alright.
rude and interject. It's hard
You-
to
No,
see who's
I asked
talking. So, and I believe that Michael touched on this, but what came to mind for me is that part of my value proposition is that I'm an advocate for helping people build wealth through home ownership. And what that means is also for a seller is that, it's not really representative of my values if I was to work for a cheaper rate. That just doesn't demonstrate to the seller that I'm, willing to help you get the most out of your home because I'm willing to work for less. So how am I going to help you net more from, more profit from your selling asset? I'm not doing that when I'm just taking a cheaper rate myself. So that's what came to mind for me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you, Sarah. That's absolutely, and it's correct, right? So absolutely. And interestingly enough, okay, they did a study, most people, they did a study on an agent who does less, who does like it for 1%, an agent who does, 5%, and an agent who does 7%. There's about 10% of the community, if you will, who will only pay the most you can pay because that's where the values lay. Like they're like, nope, we want the best. We want to pay top dollar. If you're less, then they're like, what's wrong with you? Right now, of course, most people, 85% of the communities, who are buying and selling, they want to pay the medium price. And then the less, to Sarah and your point, the point is if you're 1%, the person who values 1% will never value anything else. So it doesn't matter. Like they will argue, and we've lived this, they will argue with you the whole time. It will be a horrible, horrible experience. So never try to convince a person who values the least that you're worth more. Say, good, let me give you a name. I know this company does a la carte, whatever. I mean, literally don't do that. But there are companies they can go to that they do. We'll do your listing, flat rate listing for 1%, right? But you will never make them see value in you if they only look at the least amount of money. Like it's not physically possible.
We found in my last career that the ones that nickel and dime you to the end are the ones that are going to be the first to complain.
Yeah.
If any hiccups, they're going to be the first issue on billing. They're going to be the ones that don't pay on time.
Yep.
So whether it's volume or not, you're never making money on that client. So save yourself the time and hassle.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Exactly. I love it. It was true, right? So here's some examples, because I do really well with examples, so I was kind of glad they did this. Here's some value propositions, right? From Airbnb, Walmart, Slack, which I thought was funny, Grammarly, awesome, and then QuickBooks and a State Farm, here to help life go right. Everyone has like a little value proposition, right? So gives us some examples to get your brain juices going. And then we're going to connect your values through market center, fiduciary, and market expertise. Oopsies. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So one of the things that we want to say, regardless of where you're at in life, whether you're on a team within a team, whether you're just on the Keller Williams, not just, it's a very important decision to be on the Keller Williams team. How can you say part of being Keller Williams is part of your value proposition? Go.
Well, we're a national company, which means I have access to a wealth of resources.
Like what?
Well, for instance, if there's something that comes up in a transaction that is unique, and even if I don't have the answer, I've got lots of people who do.
Yes.
At least 10 people have been through that before.
Yep.
And successfully mastered it. So
Yeah.
we'll get.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. How about you?
I think overall, just everybody knows the name of Keller Williams when you think of like who are the top 3 real estate companies in the nation. Keller Williams is one that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that comes from years of service. That comes from years of successful transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not always the smoothest, and you learn from them, and it makes yourself better for the next one. So,
Yes, exactly.
but being able, when you talk about value proposition on a team, is having the team, like Michael's saying, is you have coaching, you have mentoring, you have multiple hands in it, you have multiple eyes on the transaction to make sure everything runs flawlessly and smoothly. And deadlines aren't missed. You have multiple hands in the pot to be able to make sure this is going to go as smooth and seamless as possible.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely love that. One of the things that we talk about also being part of Keller Williams is our technology, right? Because internet's the first showing, like people go to the internet for all the things. So we just definitely discuss how we're worldwide, and that did you know that Zillow and Realtor.com do not go around the world?
I did know Realtor.com did.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, so not all countries across the world can see Zillow and Realtor.com. Oh my gosh, sky's falling. So, but because we're Keller Williams, we have our own Keller Williams listing service. Our listings go to all the platforms, especially because we have Keller Williams, feels like in every country now, right? Saudi Arabia just opened up, right? So Poland, like the whole thing. Well, there's more than that, but you know what I mean. So there's a lot of countries.
Interesting choices you picked there.
Yeah. Well, I just saw it on Facebook. So, the grand opening, I just saw it on it. Okay, anyway. So part of our technology goes around the world. So our houses, and we have had buyers from China that have bought our investment properties, right? So it's actually an important detail that people know that your listings will be across the world, since people are looking all over the world for houses, right? There's that. And then also just how our Keller Williams are in our communities giving back, right? So it's not just about, hey, our owners are taking all the profits and they just got a new car, which can happen if you're singularly owned, but we give back to our communities. And we have agents that are super entrepreneurial who by themselves give back to our communities, right? There's a lot of reasons why being part of Keller Williams. Melinda?
Yes,
Did you have something to say?
I'm sorry. I think I need to mute myself.
Okay. Sounds good. But thank you for being here. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So, and then what else makes you unique? So like some examples here. Some examples here are, we're not doing a house. Okay. Are you bilingual? Did you used to work in sales? So you can bring that expertise in here. Family members that were in lending, real estate. And then do you have any degrees? Like this example was for accounting or stuff like that. That can help. I do not have a degree in financial anything, and I still help people buy and sell houses. So please don't think you need one. Do we have any aha so far? I don't know what we have. Okay, moving on. It's a slide. Okay. But okay, so what matters to buyers and sellers? We're gonna be talking about that. And this, if everyone online, I really want this interactive because we're all having different experiences, especially as the market's shifting. So what is your experience, and everyone will participate, feel free to unmute, as to what's important to a buyer. Don't even worry about page numbers, just listen to my words.
I
Okay. So they have, let's see, for the first time, if they're finding houses, what do we find that buyers are finding a value in hiring us?
For the first time, you're saying first time home.
Bills.
Is that God? God is a woman.
It's Barbie.
Barbie? Let's see. Oh. Is it Melinda again? Okay, this is getting difficult.
Sorry, what? I was muted.
Oh, no, we thought you said something. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. Just
Thank
making
you.
sure. I heard my name. I'm like,
Oh, but Barbie, since you're on here, what do you find that buyers are finding of value?
well, I mean, I am brand new. So there's that. Like, I literally am showing my first house today. So I'm not really like necessarily sure on how to answer that quite yet, but I think that, as an agent, you can set yourself apart by making sure that you're listening to their needs and finding what they're looking for. I've got a buyer who's looking for something extremely specific in a very specific neighborhood. And so, I mean, I don't know, just making sure that you're being present enough to hear what they have to say instead of making it about the paycheck.
Love that. Thank you. See, you're already gonna be a huge success. You haven't even, like, you're showing your first house today and you already know that. So that's awesome. I love it. Okay. I love it. Okay. Do you show houses?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you share what you're finding buyers are finding of value right now?
Well, everybody wants to live in the success of the last 2 years,
Yeah.
but as a seller, they want the results of what the last 2 years has brought at low interest rates, and they want the same return on what they're selling. But as a buyer, they want everything for less because they feel the market's just dropped off completely, and we're still in a great seller's market. We're just not as good as we were a year or two ago.
Right.
So it's trying to justify, it's not just dropping off right away, trying to justify their interest rate may be higher right now. Are they going to be able to refi in 3 to 5 years and not looking at it as just, you got 30 years, it's 7%, and
Right.
that's your only option.
Right.
But being able to be ready to strike when the right property comes, because there's still limited inventory, even though there's more than there was, there's limited inventory. If you want to sit and wait and eat popcorn, you're going to miss it if it's a good property that other people have interest in. So being ready to strike, but also providing them as much detail and information about the property prior to looking at it, to save yourself a lot of wasted time of looking at properties that within 10 seconds finding out that it's not the right home. That could have been eliminated at the forefront.
Oh, there you go.
So
yeah, very cool. Okay. Sarah, how about you? What are you finding that buyers are valuing right now? Please.
What their value, gosh, to be honest with you, it's been a year. So I've just got a buyer, and I would say what they are valuing right now would be just the ability to get into anything that they like. They're just burnt out and exhausted from bidding wars. And so I think just having an advocate who can help them tailor an offer that will put them above the others, really, because they're just so burnt out for being outbid.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep, that's true. So going to classes here, that's why I like interactive so much, is because we learn when we hear what other people are going through and what they're doing, right? It does us no good to sit here and read from a book and not get the exposure of what's working, what's not working. To Sarah's point last night, I just met with a buyer and I was like, this is what's winning offers. We have 3 days to think about it. They're not accepting offers until the weekend, but here's what's winning. So put numbers to that, what's winning, right? If you can't say that and don't say that, then how are you setting them up for success, right?
I work with a lot of farmers or people who are looking for timber ground, and me putting together or being in the forefront of, like, I see, 30 acres and this is what the soil type is, and just being very informative of what is available, because they're so busy. They are really appreciative and valuing that. That's what but I think that's very niche oriented. Just providing as much possible information about every detail on the piece of property that they're looking for.
That's awesome. I think, well, but to your point, Allison, also, we need to find out what you were saying. We need to find out what the buyers need about the property, right? Yes, I'm not going to know about soil necessarily, but if that's what I'm hoping, I need to find out, right? So being of that service, the go-to, I always say, not me personally, but is, are you of more value than Zillow? Everyone goes to the internet to find information. Hey, Jessica. So I'm not even kidding. We'll be showing houses and they're like, oh, I just looked up the seller. Did you know? I'm like, no, I didn't, because I did not look up their personal business. I did not know that. You know what I mean? So, but that's, people go to the internet. They know everything about the house. So how are we showing up more valuable than the internet? It's kind of what I always think about in the back of my mind, right? And then I always take note. This buyer or seller asked me this buyer or seller asked me that. How can I get ahead of the next buyer or seller and provide that next time? Everything's a learning experience. Everything's an opportunity, right? So we don't get defeated by, oh, shoot, I didn't know that. We'll do it for next time. Who cares? Here we go, right? Okay.
So
Am
I
I back?
think
Yes.
just being skilled in negotiation and being able to write an aggressive offer, right? Because that's like one of the things that I'm working with some buyers that I'm working with right now is like, that's one thing that they keep bragging about is just how skilled I am in negotiating and writing an aggressive offer and telling them, educating them on why that is an aggressive offer, what the sellers like about that offer, why they're going to, choose that over another one. And also just agent to agent relationships. I'm showing a house today and the agent that is the listing agent on it is, I'm really good friends with, and he knows how well I work. And so he's, excited to see our offer if we write on that house. And so that's a huge benefit too.
Oh my gosh, I love that you said that, Stacy. In our listing presentations or buy presentations, I personally throw in, and I work really hard to have good relationships with all the brokers in town, right? Because to Stacy's point, which she nailed perfectly, is if you have good relationships and you're not an a-hole, sorry, is that cussing? I don't know. Okay. Everyone knows the hard brokers to work with, right? And if you don't yet, because you're new, you will, because they're hard to work with. They're rude. They're just like difficult people, like the whole thing, right? So if you have good relationships with agents and there's a multiple offer situation, I have to be honest, that does go into consideration that I know I'm going to have a great experience with you. I know you're not going to come back and ask for 20,000 in inspection repairs, even though you're giving us 40 now. Like knowing, keeping track of the experiences you have with brokers, knowing who's who, and to Stacey's point again, is having those really good relationships. No matter what they're doing on that side, you always stay above it. Don't give attitude back. I can't even tell you how many times, usually from one brokerage, because their only strength is cussing you out, that I've been cussed out and called names. I'm like, hey, no problem. I get what I get. You don't know how to handle your client's emotions. I don't tell them this, but that's why. Anytime they're not getting their way, I get yelled at. So it's just, they don't have a lot of coping skills, a lot of negotiation skills, because they don't know how to talk to their clients. That can't be our problem. We should never take it home, nor should we ever pass it on to our clients. Okay, I know we're going to follow you for half a second. Please filter what the brokers say to you. It does not all need to be passed along. I'm begging you not to do that. Especially like when they're like, oh, well, he just ripped me a new one and here's what he said. Please keep the emotion out of it. When I teach career night, I said, if you cannot handle and manage people's emotions, this job will be very difficult for you. Everything should not be said. You cannot recover. You can't recover, and you need your buyers or sellers to like the other agent and the other buyer seller just as much as they like you. So you all work together. Okay. Okay, I'm off my soapbox, but I can't even speak to how passionate about that is. Because again, Stacey's point, I've had ones with I'm a listing agent and the buyers agent I love to work with. I'm like, thank God we're gonna get this done and it's not gonna be dramatic. It feels good. Okay. Now to go back to our slides, so I can say I'm back. Sorry, everyone. Like I said, I'm more about practical. This is real life. Okay. So for value, buyer's values, needs analysis, pre-qual, I already sound bored. Sorry, everyone. Let me step it up. Neighborhood information, home search, make an offer, negotiating to buy, vendor coordination, closing, pre-close, and post-close. So a lot of this has customer service kind of written all over it. How are we being of value? And how are we making their lives easier because they already have jobs and these are our jobs. So if you look at most of this, they should not be going on Zillow to see what the other house is sold for, right? There is a liability part on, which most of you probably know, that if you're like, hey, call this inspector, call this contractor, that could be a liability part on you because you told them who to call, right? So you do have to provide several resources. You do have to say, hey, please give them a call or tell me what time of day you can make it. And because you're in meetings all day, I can call. One thing, just a side note, when you call contractors for bids or inspectors, please make sure your name is never tied to it. It should not be Michelle's paying for this inspection. Michelle ordered this work to be done. It needs to have a client's information. That's a liability stake, just throwing that in there. But to provide the customer service, still ask your client in writing, when are you available? I'll make the phone call and I'll direct them back to you, right? If you want to provide that customer service part, which I usually do. So, and then what are you doing for closing? And then here's the number one thing most agents don't do. What do we do after the house closes? See, I wouldn't want to be you. Hopefully, if I see you in the grocery store, we're on good terms and I don't have to go the other way.
Yeah.
No, we
Right?
ask for referrals.
Yeah, good job, Sarah.
We want
And-
referrals.
Yes, exactly. But how do you get referrals if they forget who you are? Because you closed and you never talked to them again.
You don't get referrals. We do that.
Places to that.
Well, that's just going back to setting the expectation, right? You have to set the expectation and say, hey, from, now you've been my client. And so you will go onto my client appreciation program and then explain what that client appreciation program is. I'll send you an email or newsletter once a month, and I'll invite you to my events that I'm having, and I'll stop by and say hi, see how you're doing. And I have all these vendors if you need anyone for a referral for landscaping or house cleaner or whatever.
I love that. Yep. Stacy, you should be teaching this class.
I
Okay,
want
so
her program information for that, by the way. That's
Oh,
awesome.
nice. Love it. One of the things that they talk about, our language is extremely important. Words absolutely matter. So if you notice in your script, don't ask me what page, I have no idea. But it talks about, let's see. Okay, so it says, let's talk about the phrase, our job is to help you with the least number of problems, which is important for both buyers and sellers. How does that make you feel when I say, hey, my job is to make sure you have the least amount of problems?
It can come off as leading as we're gonna have problems along the way.
Right?
And it comes off as a negative.
Right? Thank you.
Yeah, how many problems are we gonna have?
Exactly. Well, a lot. I'm just kidding. Right? So I just think sometimes like some of this language, let's just be careful on who in the room and on screen, when someone says, hey, thank you so much for taking care of that, have you said, no problem? Michael, thank you so much for calling that inspector.
I'm glad you know it's what I do.
No, you're supposed to say no problem.
Oh, sorry, no problem. Sorry. I thought you were asking.
Follow
I was-
instructions.
Sorry. It wasn't. No problem.
Okay, perfect, right? So our responses matter. So just like this is saying here, our value is, hey, and we will make it as smooth as possible and be very solution oriented, whatever. Do we expect that it's not going to have issues? Things come up, we're dealing with people, we're dealing with houses. Of course they do. But the point is because we're reading this page, I'm asking, please don't say to help you with the least or with all your problems. Like, we're just not going to say that phrase, but that's fair.
Somebody said that to me. It's like, are you saying I'm a problem?
Yes, yes.
I just want to clarify. Yeah.
Okay. And now we're going to flip it over to sellers. And then so what's your experience? What are we doing besides what's on the screen, which is pretty much the same thing, to provide value with our sellers? Michael, go.
I tend to find that what they find helpful is setting expectations throughout the process and basically making sure that they know each step, and also knowing that I haven't just put a sign in their yard and disappeared.
Right. Oh, what do you think?
You need to be able to earn their trust and, make sure that you can relay that you're honest and that they want to work with you, that you're personable. But at the same time, setting the standard at the beginning or early stages of preparing to get a listing, where their house is valued, whether they want more for that home or not. You really have to have that tough conversation early, but be able to have some data to support it, because it's not your feelings, it's the data that speaks the numbers.
Right.
This is facts.
Right.
And it's not about what you think. It's literally, this is what we see. Each property is unique and has its own values, but it's going to be hard to justify if you want 550 and the comps come back at 400. And based on how we market this, we're going to have a tough time if you want a quick sale.
Right.
Have that conversation early and very, very clear, and have that tough conversation, and don't face it later, because it's going to be more problematic.
Okay, so how would you turn what you just said into a value?
I would think when you talk pricing strategy on tab 2 is understanding this is where we recommend pricing it based on our professional service, based on our experience and with the data in the industry of sold comps, and maybe pricing it lower than what the comps show to be able to get more sense of urgency and more people coming through the property. We're here to sell the property, not sit on properties. But on the other hand, tying in that, I know you wanted 550, comp show 410, we strategize it and price it at 395. That probably is going to create the biggest urgency of response and get people through the house in an open house and get that thing under contract in the first week. But mentally preparing them for what's the number you're willing to take. You sold this in a week.
Yeah.
Not what you want to take, what are you willing to take? Even though we got to justify our value of, we're not trying to get you less for the property, because if we sell it for more, we all make more money. But just being real with them, if your property's not worth what it was 2 years ago,
Right.
the market should.
Right. Yeah, that's completely correct. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for sharing that. Does anyone online want to share what values you share with your sellers? I'll call on people. All right, Stacy. Please, if you don't mind.
Funny. So a couple things that I love to share with I kind of go above and beyond. I love to do staging, and I do tons of marketing and just explain to them like how important marketing is. And again, it's the communication. Communication is like one of my top values that I bring to all of my clients. And just being skilled in negotiations again. And you back that up with stories. So like I market so we can get as many people to see the house, even if they're not looking or looking in this price range. I want to put it in front of them and like draw that attention in, draw that, want or desire to be in this house, and kind of build that picture of that. And then we do that. We market so aggressively so we can get multiple offers, hopefully. And then not just like helping them choose a multiple offer, but also negotiating those multiple offers to increase their offers up higher to begin with, and then choosing the best one. And also, there's so much that goes into it, but like vetting your potential buyer is so huge. And that goes back to communication, right? I call and talk to every single one of the lenders, make sure they're fully underwritten, or if they're not, to see how we can get them underwritten. And just that like pre-selling work is so huge, and just giving those explanations and the stories of how it can go wrong, and how I try to defeat that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Stacy. I really appreciate it. So we all heard one of Stacy's values is communication, right?
So I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Ugh.
Oh, come on, that's funny.
Yes, yeah, so that's an example of what, oh, go ahead, Stacy. I don't know if you had something else because you're off mute. I'm trying to
Oh, no.
watch. Okay, sorry. I'm not trying to call you out. I just didn't want to interrupt you. Okay, so that's part of what we're trying to come up with, right? As far as by the time we're done with this, and again, I told you I am absolutely going to go off script so we can actually get your value proposition done. Is communication's one of them. You said honesty and clarity is another one of yours, right? Michael's got, what's one of your values?
One of my values?
Yeah,
Accountability.
accountability. How does that help your clients?
Well, for one thing, that means I'm going to make sure that I give them very clear information on what I'm going to do for them at whatever stage we're at.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to follow up with them and show them how I did.
nice. That's really cool. Yeah, it's a really good one. I love that. I mean, and that's a good point, because if they don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter, because they don't know you're working for them. That's a really good point. Awesome. Okay. All right. So we're going to go on some graphs for half a second. Can you see the graph? Okay.
Oh, can I say one really quick?
Yeah, please.
Oh, sorry. So, oh, and then I totally lost my train of thought. Okay, go on. I'll pop back in if I remember.
You just talk right over me. Okay. We were talking, well, just so you know, Stacy, we were talking about if they don't know what you're doing, then it doesn't matter, right? Because they don't know that you're working for them. Does that help?
Yes. Okay. So referral. So I work almost 100% by referral. And one of the things I love is just asking them why the person or people that referred me, like what they said about me and why that's important to the seller or the buyer. And then also going to the people that I know refer me or refer me often and just asking them what they say about me when they're referring somebody. And that can be like, it can be things that you don't even think about. And that's so valuable.
That's huge. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you, Stacy. Yeah, let's all write that down.
Good feedback.
Right? So, oh, great. What did you say? What, that, and so that way you can get your own values too, let's say, because that's what people see in you, which is really nice. What would your 10 closest friends say about you, right? Thank you, Stacy. I really appreciate you sharing that. I just want to make sure we have everyone online. Pew, pew, pew. Cool. And then anyone, of course, just jump in, talk right over me, because I don't know that you're about to say something because you're not in class. So talk right over me. It's totally okay. Let's see. Oh, in our buyer presentations, I do, because the internet is so huge, I do tell them that, just so you know, you're going to be looking for houses for yourself just as much as I'm going to be, because you're looking at Zillow on your lunch break at midnight while your kids are at soccer. You're looking at websites. I don't name Zillow. You're looking for houses, and it's okay that you send those to me, and I'll send you ones I find that match your criteria as well. I already put in their head that I'm expecting them to send me houses because we're working together as a team. It's not because I'm not doing my job, right? So the other part I make sure people know is, and I can't search for the same house criteria if you put in something different on your internet search, then you tell me. So when you switch your internet search, please tell me so we can be looking for the same houses. I only wanted to bring that up because 52% of buyers value that you help them help find the right home to purchase. So I really wanted to state, make sure they know they're going to send you houses too. It's not that you're not doing your job. Okay. And then help buyers negotiate the terms of the sale. To Stacy's point again, huge, right? You need to know what's winning offers. You need to know what's in the marketplace, what our house is going for, what's the condition, so you can negotiate properly for your clients, which is number 4, or the fourth or third one down, excuse me, is to help with the price. For the past 3 years, we've kind of been saying, do you want the house or not? It doesn't matter necessarily comparables. Do you want this house, right? And that's kind of what it's come down to. As we switch into a full-on buyer's market, okay, we'll probably be looking at prices again. But at this juncture, it's not like, oh, well, the house down the street sold for 10,000 less. There's 6 offers. Like, you're not going to get this house for 10,000 less, right? Maybe.
Convey that to the to the buyer.
100%. 100%. Oh, oops. Oh, this is still buyers. Okay. Is that the same one? Okay. Factors that buyers value in choosing an agent. Okay. Why we're talking value proposition. How are they supposed to know you're honest if they're looking online? So that one's kind of interesting. Agent is honest and trustworthy. How can they choose you?
It goes back to what Stacy was saying about how did you hear about me?
Yeah.
And when they're going on to these sites, it's what other people are saying about you on these sites.
Yes, exactly correct. So that's why the testimonials and everything are really important. Agent experience, I have to tell you, I'm not as impressed with how long an agent's been in business if they sell one house a year. So to me, the agent experience of how many families have you served, how many houses have you sold is way more important, especially in this day and age, than how long you've been in the business. Keep that in mind for everyone who's new. How much do you go out there and get, right? And then the reputation of the agent. Again, don't be a peepee head. Okay? It gets around. Pretty simple. Okay. Why is this the same thing? Okay. Now we're going to go into sellers. What sellers want most from their agent? Okay, we all know this. To price their home competitively, help sellers market to potential buyers, help sell the home within a specific time frame, and help sellers find ways to fix up their home to sell it for more. So again, I'm referring to Stacy. She's the class pet today. Again, do you have resources in your pocket? Part of your job is to make sure you know plumbers, painters, roofers, that whole thing, stagers, photographers. You need to have these people in your arsenal behind you and your team of what value you provide your sellers. If you're going to be like, I don't know, go online to Angie's List, like hopefully, right, you can call people and make relationships, find out how they do business so you feel secure referring them. I have to tell you, when I refer someone and then my clients, like, they never got back to me, I don't refer them ever again. I can't, right? Or, oh, they showed up and they were smoking the whole time or on their phone the whole time. Like, you have to get all this feedback from your, contractors and service providers, because that's your name out there. You referred them. Okay. And I'm only really speaking to them that says helps find ways to fix up their home for sale. Boop. Okay. And the factors sellers consider when choosing an agent. Again, how are they going to know you're honest? Reputation, agent as a friend or family member. That's funny. Does anyone know why that's important right now? Because everyone's a realtor.
Yeah, this is true.
So what, like, I don't know, like 8-9 years ago? Oh, actually, let's pretend I don't know years. It was like 800,000 realtors in the United States. There's 1.3. Okay. Everyone in the seller's market decided, oh, that's easy money. I'll just get my real estate license. Right?
Why am I paying 3%? I can just do it myself.
Do it. And do you know why? And actually, there's some people on this call and usually in other classes. Do you know why people decide to get their license? Because they had such a horrible experience and it can't be that hard. Yeah. And that's also the number one reason why people don't want to pay realtors, is because they had such a horrible experience. So
I can tell you in my first 3 months, I'm absolutely shocked how rude and crude some agents are from one to another. And if I call and say I have a client that wants to look at your property, it's very uninviting to a lot of agents and it's inconveniencing them. And it shocks me because it's like, do you want to sell? I'm coming to you.
yes.
It just, and I can see where the frustration is from a buyer or a seller. If agents are getting that response, what are others getting?
Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, you're keeping track of those people who are rude to you when you're calling on their properties, right? I mean, not like because you're vengeful. I mean, you can't help but. It's a memory. You're like, oh, okay, good to know. So that is a good reminder, everyone online and in this class. Be nice, right? And be gracious if someone's not nice. Maybe they're having a horrible day. Hard to say, but you know what I mean. Okay, bam. Again, we're going to get to our value proposition of how will someone know what your values are for them to choose you, to know you're trustworthy. And what I like to do when people say, I'm honest, I have integrity, can you outline that at least with one more word on what that looks like to you? So people can go, oh, because of this, right? Because everyone's honest and has integrity. That's why we have ethics training. Just kidding. Okay. Did everyone go to their ethics training class yet? Okay.
Question, would you lie about it?
Right. Oh, no, I don't think you can practice. Oh, you can't be a realtor. You can practice, but, okay. Oh, I got it on my own thing. Okay. So part of what we're talking about is when you're with Keller Williams, part of our value proposition to you. So thank you everyone in class and online for choosing Keller Williams. Thank you. Because it's also Keller Williams' job to show the value to you, right? Part of our value is the technology, as we'll see here. I have to tell you, when I talk to other agents, there's another brokerage, they have to use Outlook, right? So they don't have something like Command that they can keep track of birthdays and addresses and family members and anniversaries. And then also they, oh, I hit a button, that have, what do we have? We have KW Command, then we have with the smart plans, you can do automated newsletters. Like there's so much technology that you might not get a full grasp of yet, but I have to tell you, other brokerages don't even provide it for a minimal cost. Like other people have to go out there and get full on CRMs, get full on whatever they want to do, right? Whether it's newsletters or whatever. So that is a value that Keller Williams has to their agents to help them succeed. And that way it's one less thing for you to have to worry about, so you can go help your clients succeed, right? They've got our back. So that's kind of cool. Any ahas from this? No. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to define our value proposition. So what this is, we're going to get a little bit quiet. I'll play some music because I really want everyone to walk out of here with some values. Okay. I'm sorry. Written down, if they're not already written down, of course we all have values. I wasn't insinuating we didn't. That sounded bad.
Wow.
Like, okay, we're going to get some values real quick. Okay. Let's write them down.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. 3 steps to defining your values. And again, as I mentioned, I'm going to get quiet for a little bit because we want to walk out of here with them written down, at least a framework for you to keep working on later. Okay. Part of this is, yes, so buyers and sellers can connect with you. To reiterate, the other part is so you can have a really good life that you love and you love coming to work for, because you're living your values every day. And because of your values, you get to work with the other people who align with those values. Can we not all agree that when you line up with someone and their values, it's just a better experience, right? You're not on all the time. You don't have to like counteract or like take one for the team because your values just don't line up, right? So it's really important. So we're going to build our value proposition statement. Okay. So step 1 is we're going to identify our knowledge, attitude, skills, and beliefs that make us be a great agent. So sorry, online, if you already have this written down, we're just going to take probably just a couple minutes. It says 3. We'll take 3 minutes. And I'm going to play some music. Oh, before I'm going to throw Stacy under the bus one more time. Hey, Stacy. She's going to be, who is this lady? And why she keep calling on me?
She's like, already moved on.
Dang it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So it sounds like you have your value proposition written down. Is that correct?
I have my values written down, not a problem.
Sorry. Do you mind sharing a couple of them as examples? If that's too personal, I totally put you on the spot, so no problem.
No, it's totally fine. I actually have them right here. So,
Okay. Be sure.
So I have 20 written in order. Do you want all 20 of them?
Whatever you want to share. And
Okay.
they are in order of importance.
They are in order of importance. Yep.
Cool. Do it.
Okay. So God, happiness, family, creating or making my own inspiration, financial freedom, self-belief, growth, empowering others and positive impact, challenge, love a challenge, happiness, creating, self-belief, growth, money, empowering others, modeling, excitement, courage, challenge, and achievement. I guess some of them are repeated.
No, that's good. So you double appreciate them. I love that. That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. I thank you for sharing so we can kind of get the juices flowing again on, okay, what do I love? What gets my, boat floating? Yeah, either way, right? So thank you, Stacy, so much. One of the exercises I did with Lionel, which I really love, is when you have those things written down, right? Because like going to the atom of it is so connection, contribution, caring, family, fun, health, wealth, right? Abundance in all things. What does that look like? So when I'm connecting with people, writing out where that's like the next step that we'll do past this. But if I like connecting with people, that's one of my values. Like I have to connect with people every day or I feel sad, right? What does that connecting look like? Did I talk to someone? Did I meet someone for coffee? Was it me like getting two people business to business, person to person, right? What does wealth of an abundance look like to you? What does having fun look like to you? What does connecting and contributing look like to you? Because once you start defining it, you can physically see those moments in your day, right? What does being honest look like to you? Like having the courage to be like, hey, I was able to say something that might have been a little bit hard, but with grace and kindness, right? So once we can define the values, then we define what that looks like, then we can notice we're living the life we want because we can see how those things are lining up. For instance, Michael, I just want to lose weight.
I support you.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. How will I know I'm losing weight?
Are you tracking?
How much weight do I want to lose?
Yeah.
Right? Once I know how much weight I want to lose, how am I going to do that? So I know I'm supporting it. Well, I'm going to make good choices at lunch. I'm going to drink so much water a day. I'm going to exercise so many times a week for so long. You can then start lining those things up to know that you're on your path to health, right? Health and wellness. I want to have fun. What is fun? I promise you our definition of fun is different, right? So what does fun look like to me? I love laughing with other people. Did I laugh with someone today? Right? So if you want an incredible journal, I got the One Thing Core Values journal. It really makes you think, and it does that exact same thing. So everyone, it's the One Thing Core Value Journal. I have to tell you, I had a huge aha, and I'm just like kind of wasting time a little bit while I was thinking. Actually, I should be quiet so you can think. Let me tell you the story real quick. So one of the things on it was, step 2 was look through your camera roll and find the photos of you living your best life, where you felt like the best version of you ever. And like, just like, like what memories you want to always make sure you remember. When I went through my photos, it's a lot of work. Oh, here's this house. Oh, I need to find this sink. Oh, here's this. You know what I mean? I was like, that made me so sad. Work is on my thumb. So how am I showing up to my friends and my family when all I do is work?
Just give and take.
Well, let's throw in some like other photos too, right? So I'm just saying we also have to be real and acknowledge where we're at. We can't do anything without awareness as the step 1. Noticing you want to do something different is step 1. 2, what is that? And if again, I always come back to values. It's not mission, it's values, because that's where you start to decide what kind of life you want in business and in your real life. Not real life, but your personal life, right? It's all real life. It's not the matrix that we know of.
How do you
know? Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now. If you can, think of 5 values that really make your day go great.
Yeah, happy place.
This is the kind of music that's supposed to get your brain going.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute, okay. One more minute. Because this is like ongoing, right? Okay, cool. Oh, and the music stopped.
Musical chairs. Would you been-
Okay. I just want to take a step back for 1 second. The reason why I told you about my photos is because you can't tell my photos what my values are. Like you can't tell it's my family, like as number one, right? So that was just a huge aha to me. And that's the only reason why I share. So when we start being a little bit real and when we start defining our values, what they are, how do they show up in our life and in our business, right? And that's kind of why I shared that. It was supposed to be random. You're like, okay, but you get that journal, it's really good. If you want to pursue, kind of having some of that stuff. Part of what we want to talk about also is from your past lives, right? We all have skills and attributes that we get to bring forward. So what are those? Like, again, she's a very strong negotiator. So that's going to be part of, I'm not putting that on her, should she choose to have that part of her value proposition. Right. I know Melinda is fabulous at showing houses and being there for her clients. I'm excited for Barbie. It sounds like she already has it going on where she knows she needs to be present and listen so she can direct them where they need to go. And then Sarah, we already know, is already having buyers come back, right? And then she'll have a lot of strong value propositions on how she can direct her clients and have them choose her. So these are all things we need to think about. Again, it's so when people meet you, bam, I can see your values, I can see we line up. And then also we can articulate them. And when we're in our consultations, and first and foremost, probably online, if we're not getting a personal referral, how can they choose you, right? And it's always about what your values. Oh, I have kids too. Oh, I play soccer too. Oh, I have whatever, right? So part of what we're going to go on to next, as part of our lesson today, is breaking down our previous skills on how they show up in our value proposition. So what attitudes am I bringing to the job? What skills do I offer? Michael, can you tell me one or two about the skills you offer as part of your value proposition? Please.
I'm a highly strategic thinker, basically project management.
Yeah.
It's, I can easily take transactions from beginning to close without getting bogged down and frustrated.
Cool. So how does that benefit your client?
Because they don't get bogged down and frustrated.
So how would you put that in a value proposition?
Well, basically, the way I always have told it to people is, I'm going to provide you with the information that's going to make you feel comfortable making the decision that's in your own best interest.
Love that.
And because I have the ability to anticipate where potential landmines are going to be, I'm going to be able to also provide you with solutions on how we can best avoid it.
Yep.
And if we can't, how we're going to get through it.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah. You'll be able to sleep at night because I'm not going to.
Is that on your business card?
No.
Okay.
But that's actually not entirely true. That's why I kind of mumbled that. That just thought came into my head, but
Like, no,
I sleep fun.
I think good. Part of, like, again, this is real play, is we do want you to have some sentences that you can add to your value proposition. So we're going to take another couple minutes because it specifically says 6 minutes right here on what are your skills that you can bring forward. And if you've been in real estate forever, great. Or if you're just getting back in real estate, great, to use those specific attributes and skills. We need to write them down in a concise way to add to our value proposition. And if no one's going to do it, I'll just keep going. We can honestly be honest.
Are we on step 1 or step 2?
We are on step 1.
I did the last.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Do you want to share yours? Do you feel comfortable sharing yours?
Sure.
Or one or two? You don't have to be all of them.
So in the category of knowledge,
Yes.
Examples of finance degree. So I put, I'm an 18-year career in construction, 10 of it in service and sales. Also have an associate's degree.
Cool. Okay, I guess step 2 is defining it. I mean, it's putting it into practice. Okay.
So next one was your attitudes. Positive, energetic, commitment to work hard and dedicated to the client. Willing to work nights and weekends, vacations. I live and breathe what I do, and I love what I do.
Nice. Is that going to be forever?
I think over time, as you build your clientele, you adjust.
Yeah.
You adjust being able to have more time away from work.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to do it on vacation. You have people in place. You know, you kind of work towards that.
Yeah.
But being a new agent, you make more sacrifices now to make it better long term.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Thank you. Skills.
Skills. No challenge too big to not work through and find solutions. Being able to be a chameleon, I can adapt in my environment and my surroundings. Relatable on many levels, approachable, easy to work with, and communicating throughout a process was something I would be able to achieve or something that I could excel at.
Nice. I believe that about you. And I don't even know you. Oh, cool. And then how about beliefs?
Able and willing to have honest conversations with facts, not emotions. Sometimes that means telling clients what they don't want to hear, but what they need to hear.
Yeah.
And being willing to do that, but like you said, do it gracefully.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Does anyone online want to share theirs for step one and then we'll move on? Michael, I'm just always calling on you because you're in person. So if you want to share, go ahead.
On which part of that?
Step one.
On step one?
Yeah.
So, I didn't quite get all the way there, but
That's okay.
what I was thinking about was when he was talking about beliefs, it reminded me, that one of my core beliefs is people do what they do for their reasons, not yours. Another one is I don't believe people make bad decisions. This actually goes to my value proposition 100%. I believe people make the best decision they can based on the information they have at that time, and possibly with only thinking short term. So part of what I believe our responsibility as real estate agents is to give people better information than what they currently have, and also help them to see into the future and how the decision today affects them 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. So your job, should you choose to accept it, is to make that concise into your value proposition, which, by the way, is step two. And again, if anyone wants to share online, I'm just not going to make you. But if you want to jump in, talk right over me so we know, so I know to be quiet. So we're going to transform the value you provided into the value of KW and Market Center into beliefs for your, or benefits for your clients. Right. So how does that benefit your client? And again, we don't have to do every single one of them, but at least pick a couple to work through the exercise of how does honesty benefit your client? How does working your self, I'm trying not to cuss, working your ass off, how does that benefit your client, right? How do these things benefit your clients? So we'll just take a couple minutes to do that. Keep saying my music. Okay. Oh. Alrighty. So did we get to put at least like one or two of them into a benefit to your client? Did you? Okay, my turn.
So I put for my value proposition is to provide others with the information they need to feel comfortable making decisions that enable them to realize the short and long-term goals. And my mission is to help others create security and financial stability through real estate to be their friend in the business.
I love that. That's very, very cool. Can that go on a business card?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It actually kind of is.
Oh, nice. Very cool. I love it. And I mean, I could totally connect with everything on it. That's very cool. Does anyone like want to share? Okay, I won't pick on anyone. Okay. And then now let's go to step 3. We're going to physically start building our value proposition. Let's see here. And again, if like no one's doing this part, then we'll just skip it. Because if there's nothing put together, there's nothing put together.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, we are doing it.
No, I'm saying that's what I just did.
Cool.
I thought that's what that was.
Well, you're ahead of the class. Good job.
Right. I'm a chronic liver.
I love it. Okay, so now we're going to build our value proposition. Again, we are starting with our values in order to define how we want to do business and what kind of clients we want to work with. Now, we can't all be super lucky and only work with the people we only want to. It's possible someday, right? But sometimes we get to grow as people too and gain further skills on working with people maybe we're not naturally wanting to work with, and that's okay because everyone needs help. Part of what we're talking about also is when you're defining your values and then you're saying how that benefits your clients and you're putting it into a value proposition that you can then put all over to the world. Part of that, our jobs in real estate is aligning with that person where they're at. You know, most people think the golden rule is treat how others want to be treated, and that's not it. Michael, do you know what it is?
The golden rule is to treat others the way you want to be treated.
That is a golden rule. The actual golden rule is treat others how they want to be treated, right?
I misheard you.
Okay, I do mumble. So if we're treating others how they want to be treated, then we have to be able to decipher quickly what type of personality they are, right? So that way we can also a little bit climatize to their values as well, because we can't just be so rigid that this is the only way I'm going to be a person and you better do what I want, right? We have to be able to speak to them where they're at and how they want to be spoken to and maybe align with kind of what's important to them. And then as Stacy was talking about, and actually everyone online is talking about, is are we listening? What are we doing in our consultations? They're not really listing presentations and buyer presentations anymore. It's a consultation. Hopefully everyone who's doing this class today knows you're finding out more about your client than they're finding out about you, right? I took my dad to look for a car this weekend. The craziest thing happened, and my daughter told me to be quiet because they know it sets me on fire, is we knew everything about that car salesman. I'm like, I'm here with my dad because he needs a new car. And you're telling me about your investments, how you hate your job, how you can't wait for your next day off. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like my face just dropped. I'm like, oh, and the kid's like, stop it. I'm like, oh, fine.
What dealership did you go to?
University Honda in Corvallis.
Oh, good. My husband's the GM of Power, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't one of his guys. Okay,
Oh,
you're
which
good.
Power?
Go ahead.
What
Power
Power?
Corvallis.
Oh, good. That's why I got my last 2 cars.
Okay, good. Yeah,
did
my
write down
husband's
their
the
names.
GM, so just let me know if you need any help, and we'll take good care of you guys.
Thank you. Yes, that's where I went my last 2 cars recently, last year. So thank you. We will hunt him down. What's your husband's name? Sorry, I'm being selfish.
His name's Rudy Mejia.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Okay. I'm glad I said that story because I'm calling Rudy. Okay. So anywho, but sorry, everyone, I went personal. But when we're with our clients, right? But I learned something, right? When we're with our clients, there's a difference between connecting with them, finding commonality, and now they know everything about you and you have no idea how to help them because you don't know what's important to them. And just as you walk by and I say, hey, Michael, how are you today?
Doing great.
Who doesn't say that? Awesome, Michael. What's so great about today? What part's awesome?
Well, I drove by the cemetery on the way here and I figured, well, every day you wake up is a good one.
There you go, right?
So couldn't help.
No, it's true. But that's actually a true statement. We're not guaranteed anything. Okay, anywho. So that's just something to think about too when we're doing our value propositions is how are we connecting with people where they're at and maybe showing up for them a little bit more, right? Okay. I think if everyone's working through that part,
The other reason I feel great is I'm working in the greatest industry there is.
right? I love that attitude.
It's what I believe.
Actually, one of the things I was thinking about over here, I could not believe this. I literally stopped at Starbucks. That's not the shocking part. Everyone knows I do that. So I had this card. Wait, where am I at? Can you see it? Where's the camera? Oh, it's over here. Okay, here's a card, right? And this was on my breakfast sandwich because I didn't want to be hangry while I was talking to you guys. and it says on the today's your day was on my sandwich and it says today's a perfect day to smile. And it says kindness connects us. The reason why I'm bringing this up is who gives a rip what my value proposition is if I don't show up as a person who cares. What like this are you doing for your clients? Now, I'm not saying it has to be a handwritten card, although those are proven to be really good, right? But how are we showing up to people? How are we showing up to our clients? Besides making sure they know what our values are and how we can help them, right? After that initial consultation, do you send them a thank you card for meeting with you? What do you do to show up that one more in someone else's life? That will supersede your value proposition because anyone can write that down, right? And then they can pick you. You'll get the first meeting because of your value proposition they see online. How did you make them feel during and how did you make them feel after? You might get that one deal. If anyone online, I'm going to be bold to say this, thinks it's about one deal, you're wrong. That's not it. And I don't usually tell people they're wrong, but you're wrong. It's not about that one house. Well, because you're here for the long game, right? You're here to actually make the industry better. Let's raise the standard of coach. That'd be cool, right? And show up greatly in people's lives. And part of how we're doing that, why you see me being so passionate about it, is if we're living our values, it allows us to show up better. So we can show up for our clients. But how many of us are brave enough to actually live our values to show up better? Or do we just run everyone else's day around us?
Easier said than done.
100% to this day. But if we're working on it, then that's okay. It's like building a muscle. I didn't do 10 push-ups this morning expecting to be ripped. Kind of bummed. I'm just saying.
That's not the way it works on home.
Yeah. Well, you know, on Facebook, that one guy's diet, he still eats donuts and pizza. Okay.
Well, I'll sign up for that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Does anyone online want to share? I would appreciate it before I have to call you out.
I think just expected extras is so valuable to your clients, and it makes such a huge impact that lasts forever. Like you were saying, personal notes are so huge. And also Popeyes. I love doing Popeyes and I love doing events. I'm always celebrating my clients because that makes such a lasting impression. And it's one of the things that they brag on me to other people about is that I care about them and I care about connecting people and connecting community and, connecting new friendships and like I said before, vendors and stuff, and just bringing that all together. It's unexpected extras. It's like, I ask when I go out with buyers, I ask who's going, and if they have a child or children that are going, then I ask about their interests and I make little gift bags that are fun because they're going to be sitting in the car, and so I'll put like dinosaur stickers in there, or just something simple. And I also make like little buyer bags, because I know if we're going to see 5 houses, like I'm hungry and I'm thirsty, so I put water and snacks in there, like gummies and mints and stuff. And it's just those unexpected extras that helps them to, that's where you get the referrals, because they're like, oh, nobody's doing this, this is awesome, and she makes me feel special, she goes out of her way to do something for me. And it's not big, but they love it.
I love that so much. Yes, you are hitting the nail on the head, Stacy. I love that so much. Any service provider we go to, if you have the chance to be treated better than your competition, I'm probably going with the better. Right? How do you make me feel important? So, thank you, Stacy. Does anyone else want to share? Sarah?
I was gonna say, for me, I mean, it doesn't have to be just at the end, but I do think closing gifts can be very profound, because it gives you the opportunity to have gotten to show that you really know the person and what's important to them. My closing gifts have always differed from my background. And another thing too that for some reason came to mind is when I was in new construction, I would let the clients write on the beams before we would cover it with drywall.
That's awesome.
That was really meaningful to people.
That's really, really cool.
So, yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if
Thank
I
you
interrupted somebody, but yeah, so those were some things that came up.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. There's background. We're all good. I appreciate when you share. Thank you. Anyone else?
Food on moving days.
What?
Food on. moving
100%.
days.
Pizza delivered. 100%. Yep. Because you're always starving and who wants to go get something? Like no one, but you're starving and now you're all mad. Right? Exactly. Exactly. Oh shoot, I know Lionel would know this. What is the book called? It's blue. Something about moments. Oh
You have to give me a little bit.
no, I will. I will text you all. I cannot think of it right now. Something moments. Begins with a P. Anyway, the book itself talks about, and I'll tell you what it is as soon as I remember.
Unreasonable hospitality.
What?
You talk anything about unreasonable hospitality?
No, I love that book. That was so good.
That's blue.
No, the book is blue.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't know. I had it on Audible.
I'm trying to remember correctly. The book covers blue.
Okay, cool. The point,
I'm trying to think of blue book.
no, I'll tell you. So, but it's about how do you make the most stressful moments for us, inspection periods, appraisals, right? So I know a team that I heard speak a while ago was saying in Portland, they'll send a movie gift card and gift card for dinner. Now, keep in mind, it also somewhat has to be scalable. So if you're only working with 3 people, yes, please do this, right? But you can't do it to 50 necessarily. And maybe you can just budget for it. Power of moments. Ah, yes. Power of moments. Lisa, I combined your names, Laura Gleason, to the rescue. So Power of Moments, excellent book. How can we take the stress out of what we already know the most stressful points are in a way that they're like, to Stacey's and Sarah's point, that you're just showing up and you're helping that really stressful moment. Again, it's usually during the inspection period, right? Second appraisal, let's say. How can you show up and do something?
Inspections, you bring a bottle of candy, ask.
Candy.
Here. You're gonna need these.
There you go. Well, hopefully not.
Oh, it's
Just saying.
it lightens them.
Yes, it could lighten the mood. Or candy cigarettes. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Well, that's wrong, buildings.
Yeah, bring it cookies.
For what it's worth, I used to not have a lot of issues with inspections because what I would do is I would just sit the people down before we went. I said, by the way, inspectors gonna go through the house. By the time he's done talking to you, you're gonna think it's falling apart.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
That's I tell them. So anything after that is great.
Yeah.
The guy said, yeah, it's a good house. They're like, oh God, it's a good one.
That's good. I love it. Yeah, it's definitely, it matters how you set it up. What is this? I hit the button.
That was the feedback at the end of class.
Oh, yeah, you don't get to give me feedback.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, you can. Just text me
Well,
first.
the QR code is so that way.
Please do. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have your value proposition at least started?
Yeah.
Did you just say no?
Yes, I said no, but I've got the behind the scenes on it. I
Okay.
just haven't started the paragraph proposition.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so again, regardless if you're an agent on our Keller Williams team or you're an agent on Team in a Team, we all have the same job. I have to lead generate. I get to lead generate. I get to lead follow-up. I get to negotiate contracts and show properties and list houses, right? I get to do all these things that are my job on a team. We all have to do the same thing. So even if you're on a team or starting a team or in teams leverage, right? Teams collaboration. That's all that's talking about. We still have to do the same thing. When I was on someone else's team many years ago, I started a buyer division on a team, right? So don't think that just because I work underneath someone, using quotes under someone's name, that you don't have to do the same thing you do. You can have as big of a business as you choose to have, no matter where you're at in our Keller Williams family. So please don't skip this part because you need clients regardless of where you're at in your business. It's imperative. Okay. Oh, someone just had it. Any ahas?
Actually, going back to the very beginning, what you said about when people see me, can they tell what my values are? It wasn't that, it was what you said after, because that is something I thought about. But the other part is, do your habit support your values? And it's like, that was kind of more the interesting question. Because it's like, so really, like you said, if my goal is to be healthy, but I slept in a half hour, so I only got in half the job, what does that really say about my value?
Right?
But do I, maybe I value comfort more than I think.
I appreciate that honesty. Heck yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I keep hearing background noise. I can't tell if it's somebody talking. Okay. So my question, and this is going to sound like a really dumb question, but this kind of probed the hell out of me because you guys are asking, what are your skills? Like, and then I hear people with amazing answers. And I feel like, wow, I don't really know what my skill sets are and how they would, translate to value for the people I serve. So that's a really important thing to know and identify. So what do you recommend, like to identify that within yourself? And that sounds stupid, but I don't really know mine.
Yeah, it doesn't. But Michael does have something to say.
So yeah, yesterday when we were at the induction, whatever they call it, we were talking with Sarah, and Sarah was talking about how she has a lot of escrow experience. That's a skill. That's a huge skill. And so, and that's what it is. You kind of go back and look at, well, what were my old jobs and what did I do there and what did people say I did well? Because those are your skills. I don't know if that helps.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
So Sarah, you were in escrow?
Yes, I was an assistant.
Okay. So I'm guessing you're highly organized. I'm guessing you're very excellent in communication. I'm guessing because of all the contracts you've seen, you probably know a lot about negotiations. I bet you're friendly, right? So how those would translate in the benefit for your clients are you're open and approachable, right? You can efficiently help negotiate and ease the process from start to finish. You are methodical in your ways in which you present material. I wouldn't use the word material, right? Information. Thank you, Michael. And those are all, so you speak clearly and concisely. You communicate well and often. You're organized, so people are never wondering what's happening. You know time frames and what's it called? Yeah, well, contingencies, but you're not going to say that in like a value proposition, right?
No.
Deadlines and things like that are very big.
Yes, deadlines. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's all accurate. Actually, that's really wonderful answer. Thank you. And I was going to say the big thing too that he said that for me is bringing parties together to an agreement, because that's huge of what I had to do. bringing people together. And that's a big thing of, you know, what I like to do in real estate is bring all the parties to an agreement, to kind of be a fiduciary in that regard, like an attorney essentially. So
Right.
Also,
Right.
Sarah, I would ask like the 5 closest people to you personally and 5 people that you have worked with in the past, what they think that your top skills are. I mean, you could just send out a text message to 20 people and say, hey, what would you say my top 5 skills are that you appreciate?
oh my gosh, thank you so much. I am literally writing these down. Thank you guys. This is so helpful. I'm going to do this today.
Yeah, no, that's huge. That's huge. And it sounds like you like to create win-wins for all parties involved, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm. I love it. If anyone wants to share theirs when they're actually done, it should be a work in progress, right? Like this it's not one of the 10 commandments. It's not in stone. It's a place to start. If you want to, I really enjoy reading things like, again, losing weight, saving money, happy, whatever. Like, how do we define what those things are? If you want another good book, Atomic Habits is amazing because it helps you have a place to start. And then where can you build from there? But if anyone wants me to read anything or be like, okay, let's identify this from it, just like we were talking about, well, what does that look like? How will you know you did it? How will I know I lost weight? We don't know. We have to define it, right? Yeah. And then if you want to share anything, please, like, we're all friends here. We're all here to help each other succeed and make sure we have careers worth having and legacies worth leaving. That's pretty important this day and age. We don't have pensions, so why not leave a legacy? And that's all I've got. Sorry that we are 15 minutes early. If anyone else wants to share anything, I would love to hear. Oh, Laura wants something to say.
But we're going to do Winning Wednesdays starting at 11.
Nice.
For their 2 hours of activities
Cool.
that they're supposed to do after you're finished.
Yes.
As part of their Ignite Daily Success.
I did see that. Okay.
They could join us back on Zoom or here in the room for Winning Wednesdays from 11 to 1.
I love it. Did everyone hear Laura? They're pretending they can't hear me.
Yes, I can hear
don't
you.
forget, okay, thank you. And don't forget, thank you notes.
Zoom link.
Same Zoom link, same back channel. And then don't forget your thank you notes. That's actually really important. Who can you send thank you notes to today? If today's Wednesday, that maybe you talked to the last 2 days. Who did you meet with? Who did you run into? Who did you talk about their business or life? And just say, hey, it was so nice to chat with you. I can't wait to catch up again, whatever, right? We all get bills in the mail and email. Let's send something of gratitude. It's like the worst climax ever. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking your time. Please let us know if we can help in any way. We are here.
Do you have a couple minutes to fine tune some of my benefits for the client?
Yeah.